So to keep it real simple for NFL talk, mixed with real talk on our lives and your lives, sit back, relax, turn up the crew, tap into the crew, get turned with the crew. New crew, NYC, in Brooklyn, still here.
All right, what up, what up, what up? It is episode 5 of The Crew, and we are back and in effect. We got a special guest coming up on this show, Colts cornerback Stephon Gilmore. After that big win, not only over the Kansas City Chiefs, what does he have to say about that when it felt like pressure was mounting? And before we get to all that, I want to let you know you guys can find us on TheCREWNYC.com. That is our YouTube channel. We're also featured on Audacy Sports, wherever you get your podcast. But you know right now, it is time to bring in the boys. All right. Guess who we have in the building? Hall of Famer Terrell Owens. As somebody is calling me, look at that, all up in the show. That's all right. We got Terrell Owens in the building. What's going on, Big T?
Not much, man. Just ready to recap some of these exciting wins over the weekend.
And you also represent your clothing line. Let me make sure I take off this display name so everybody can see Prototype. Okay, where can they get that? Where can they get it?
Prototype81.com. I'm Prototype, baby. The basis on which something is made or formed. I'm Prototype 81.
Okay. Fred, you got something to say? What was live? I don't know if you living after that Commanders loss.
Well, T.O. don't bother me. He my Alabama brother, and I'm from Mississippi, so we'll stick together when we ain't on the field. So we all right. We all
right. Okay. Well, let's get right to it because we had a whole bunch of interesting things happen in the NFL this week, so we're going to get right to our headline. All right. I don't know if y'all stayed up and watched Monday Night Football, but it was the Giants against the Cowboys. T.O., you know something about those Cowboys, and guess what? They did pull out the win last night, 23-16. What did you think?
Hey, I think these 2 wins they have very surprising after week 1, losing Dak, losing that game. I don't think anybody, kind of foreseen these 2 wins. But at the end of the day, Smoot, we played the game. People that are watching, if you haven't played but if you watch the game every week, it's always, you've heard these players say it's the next man up mentality. And that's exactly what has happened. Cooper Rush has definitely stepped in, obviously to relieve Dak until he gets back. But right now, all is good in down in Dallas Cowboy land. So, I know Stephen A. Smith is probably cringing at the bits right now.
However,
right. Because I don't think everybody saw them winning 2 wins, especially back-to-back after the loss of Dak, going into this season.
Go ahead, Fred.
I'm hoping my Mississippi State Bulldog brother and Dak do not rush yourself back. We seen this same movie play out last year with Russell Wilson. Don't rush. You're a quarterback. You can't throw without a thumb. And you was supposed to be out 6 to 8 weeks. And now, all of a sudden, Cooper Rush done got in this game. And Dak is sitting at home watching Cooper Rush get out this love. So now he got to throw himself back into the fire. No, take your time, brother. Like Sean Springs always told me, if you hurt, brother, don't put no bad film out there because they don't forgive you for that bad film. And then we're going to have all this controversy stirred up like Cooper Rush could actually start over Dak. No, he can't. He's a Band-Aid. Guess what? Let me tell you what Band-Aids do. Okay. Band-Aids fall off after you sweat a little bit. Hey, he can fix this thing.
Fall off. I mean, the man is 3-0 when all of y'all haters like, oh, they don't have no quarterback.
Grab me a river. Grab me a river. Nobody care about him winning 3 games in the NFL. Dak has won 3 seasons. Like, come on, man. I'm going with the guy that I paid $200 million. We ain't having this conversation, all right? What we need is
to replace Dak. I'm just saying Cooper Rush is coming in and handling business. Just kind of like
and guess what? He doing what a backup's supposed to do. When Michael Jackson is off, Tito Jackson step up and do your job, and Michael be back.
Yeah. I think that's the most important thing and probably the smartest thing to do. I don't think he feels pressure, honestly, because of the wins. Again, obviously you want to get back on the field sooner than later. But I think in this situation, he doesn't really want to risk further injury because, like I said, he has to be able to grip the ball in a live time situation. You got people coming at you. And then at the end of the day, these defensive players, they're smart. They know that he's had this thumb injury. They're going to be going after that thumb. They're going to be swiping. So he has to be mindful and understand, okay, let like Swoop said, take this time off. And I think that when you talk about putting bad film, and it's a little bit different from a DB and a quarterback. Like I said, this quarterback right here, even if he does put on some bad film, he has a lot of money at stake. And like I said, Jerry has invested a lot of money into Dak Prescott. So I don't think it's the same in a sense, but I definitely get what you're saying. Dak needs to honestly, like I said, take the 4 to 6 weeks to really heal properly, get back, and then be ready to go. Just do what he did last night. Root Cooper Rush on.
Oh Lord, you saying all Coopers look alike? All Coopers look alike?
Right, exactly. Yeah, just keep rooting Cooper Rush
all
on.
Coopers look alike.
Right.
And look, and just so y'all understand out there listening to this podcast, the reason why we're potentially talking about Dak Prescott coming early is because he had an interview with Lisa Salters before the game, and he indicated that it was possible that he could be back for week 4, saying, quote, he isn't ruling anything out, even though the initial prognosis for the surgically repaired right thumb was 6 to 8. So that's why we're talking about that. Listen, guys, and much love to Cooper Rush, 21 for 31, 215 yards, 1 touchdown, 0 interceptions. But Sterling Shepard, I don't know if y'all saw this, got hurt in the game, was trying to come back from an Achilles tendon injury that he had last season. And then now they say he's got a significant left knee injury. We're still waiting for the word. T.O., how devastating is that? Even OBJ tweeted about this during the game. How devastating is that to see as a wide receiver?
Well, you mentioned it to me. Had I seen it last night on the call, and I had not, and then I went to the internet. I saw some video clips, and this looked eerily similar to how OBJ got hurt in the Super Bowl. Just running a non-contact injury just comes up, and I think, for me being a football player, this doesn't look well. Doesn't look good. I would obviously, like I said, I'm not a doctor, but I think he has probably a torn ACL and he's done for the season. Don't hold me to that, but from what I saw, from the looks of it, eerily similar to the same as how OBJ got hurt during the Super Bowl. Obviously, a non-contact, just running, and then just, like I said, just grab the knee instantly. That's not a good sign.
First of all, it's 2 people in this world. If they ever fall from non-contact injuries, they're not getting up. One is an alpha male athlete in NFL. If they fall with nobody touching them, something is seriously wrong. The next is the old person. When they fall in the tub, they'll be there for 4 days. Like, so at the end of the day, what I'm telling you is, anytime I see a prime athlete just fall, I know it's serious. It scares me anytime I see it. I would rather for somebody to lean up against them because they always get back up. But when they fall, special receivers, after making a cut with nobody near them, they usually mean I'll see you next year.
And a lot of players from both teams came up and gave him his dabs. A lot of respect that he has in the Giants locker room and around the league. Quickly, I just want to get your thoughts on the fact that the Giants are 2-1 under head coach Brian Daboll. And, what's interesting with this whole thing with Sterling Shepard is that he's down. They lose a wide receiver in the midst of this controversy in New York right now because Kenny Golladay, who was their big free agent acquisition after they lost OBJ, has barely been playing. They've been rolling with whoever they feel like is best, which is very interesting to you because he was brought in to be WR1 and he was already relegated to the depth chart. And now you lose Sterling and now they might have to go, oh, baby, we still like you, Kenny Golladay. But just yes, we still love you now. So now what?
Well, I mean, that's just how things unfold. I mean, again, obviously you never want to see an injury to a player. But as for Golladay, this is an opportunity for him to obviously show that he's WR1. So at the end of the day, this will be an opportunity for him to show up and see what he's all about. So this is a prime opportunity for them to for him to fit back into that offense
and put feelings aside.
Right, exactly. And then obviously, like I said, do what he does.
Hey, sensitive thugs need a hug. Let's be honest. It's some other wide receivers in that New York room. Everybody forgets about the first round pick from Florida, Kadarius Toney. Toney can flat out play some football, very Percy Harvin like, and it ain't just because he's from Florida. This guy just can make some plays happen. He's been one of the guys I've been waiting to see how they're going to use him, because Saquon Barkley is who their offense goes around. Saquon, he's elite. So to stop him, to force them to pass is what you got to do first anyway.
Well,
you
absolutely.
Just say Saquon with a K.
Saquon, yeah. I mean, absolutely. When you think about the balance of run and pass, obviously, like I said, you talk about Toney, you think about Golladay. These are opportunities, like I said, to be able to shore up that wide receiver position. And for, Daniel Jones, I mean, he has to, not put a lot of pressure on himself. He has to be able to really get the ball out to his playmakers. And for me, I think the concern is really the offensive front, the line. If those guys can allow him an opportunity to stand back there in the pocket and pass and deliver the ball, then they have an opportunity. But last night he was on the run. When you got a good pass rush, obviously Dallas Cowboys defense is one of the top in the league, led by Michael Carson. Yeah, exactly. So if they can shore up that front line a little bit, and obviously you see what Saquon Barkley is back. He's back. You saw those dynamic runs. You saw him punishing. You saw him, being elusive, churning up some yards. And then again, like I said, a few plays down the field. Like I said, the game was pretty close to toward the end. So that's where they missed the elite playing of receivers like Sterling Shepard. So hopefully your guy Toney and Golladay can come in, have a great week of preparation, and then hey, we may see a new Giants team, down the road.
Am I the only one that thinks Daniel Jones, I love him as an athlete, but I know pro athletes, and usually we have crazy names or some kind of name correlate, something going on. I've always said Daniel Jones' name is too regular. It's regular already. If I tell you my quarterback name Daniel Jones,
O'Neal, okay?
Hey,
not everybody can have what? Go ahead.
We should just call him DJ then.
Yeah, we got to give him a new name. I'm sorry, Daniel Jones.
DJ.
Daniel Jones it's too regular. Like great quarterbacks usually have listen to me, Joe Montana, Patrick Mahomes. These names just come up. It's only one of each of these. If I tell you Daniel Jones, 25 Daniel Jones in your phone right now.
Hey, he sounds like a plumber.
Yeah, Daniel Jones. I'm finna go get Daniel Jones on you. So go get Daniel Jones. I don't give a damn.
Regular name. He's very cordial. Every time you interview him, he's respectful and professional. So we appreciate it. But I will say, I don't think they picked up that option on Daniel, so I think that's he's in, and I'll look that up really quickly. But I do know my point is that the pressure is on Daniel Jones to prove to a new head coach who didn't bring him in, that he belongs as the quarterback to the Giants.
Well, regular name, regular play.
Right, but again, to be fair to Daniel Jones, like I said, I watched a little bit of that game, and like I said, I don't know if we should give a lot of credit to the Dallas Cowboys defensive front. He was getting a lot of pressure. There was not a whole lot of time for Daniel Jones to be Daniel Jones. Call him AKA DJ.
Daniel Jones. Daniel Jones don't even sound like a good college quarterback, Daniel Jones.
Okay.
We'll just call him DJ 8 then. How about that?
Yeah, Willie Johnson.
And just to clarify, Daniel Jones is in his fourth season right now. Okay, let's move on to the Raiders. How concerned are you guys about the Raiders? They're 0-3 with their new head coach, Josh McDaniels. The Titans beat them in the last game, 24-22. Right now, Derrick Carr has six touchdowns to 4 interceptions. Devontae Adams, who started off hot with 141 receiving yards in that first game against the Chargers, just 12 receiving yards in the second game, 36 in the second. And even Devontae Adams said after the game that he is frustrated, but he understands sometimes frustration can be used in a good way.
Looks like they need a TO.
Oh, stop. No, are you putting yourself out there on the free agent market?
Hey, looks like they need a TO.
No, the Giants might need a TO. Go ahead.
Man. Yeah, I can understand the frustration, especially for Devontae coming in. Obviously, like I said, he's reacclimating, reuniting himself with his college teammate quarterback and Derek Carr. So obviously, like I said, you want some of that magic to kind of just, trickle in and pick up where you guys left off, but it just doesn't happen that way. Obviously in the NFL, it's a little bit different. Obviously started out hot. But again, in order for them to really put themselves in contention, obviously there has to be better quarterback play. You can't really rely on or think that Davante Adams is going to win you 10, 11, 12 games. You know what I mean? It takes a balanced attack, and I don't really know if they have that in order to do that.
Ladies and gentlemen, we all know that Las Vegas is undefeated. All right, first of all, the city itself is undefeated. I told people when they say they moving the Raiders there, I said it's going to take 5 to 6 years for players to get acclimated. First of all, a 25-year-old Fred Smoot wouldn't have lasted a week in Las Vegas playing for the Raiders.
No, he wouldn't have.
You got to adjust to the city. You have to understand that the NFL is taking that city over. I had the pleasure of going to the game last year and seeing that stadium. The Death Star is unbelievable. You go to the casinos, they comping all the Raiders, everything. It's a different lifestyle. And listen, Las Vegas in itself is a beast that has to be conquered. And it's going to take that team a little while. You're talking about a new head coach. You're talking about a new playbook for the quarterback again. He getting his college wide receiver back, but man, I ain't played with you in 7 years, 8 years. So I got to get back on the same page with you.
Listen, I talked to Derrick Carr when I was there for the training camp, and he was saying, even though you're right, there's time between when they played together at Fresno State, but unbeknownst to maybe some people, even though he was playing with Aaron Rodgers, those two, Davante Adams and Derrick Carr, would get together in the offseason, and they would practice together. So they have a little chemistry from that.
I can't tell where they was practicing with a blind man, because I can't tell since week 1.
Anyways, but listen, I want to say this about Derrick Carr, and let's move on real quick because we got to move on to the next topic. But I just wanted to say I do feel like people have gotten on him too much. I do remember, obviously, when he had almost to that close MVP year. I believe that was he was playing like that, at least before he got hurt, and what's the name rolled up on his ankle. But just seeing him on a clip on SportsCenter and kind of talking about being 0-3, I feel like I do see a little bit of the pressure in his eyes, when he is talking. I think everybody just needs to calm down in Las Vegas. Josh McDaniels has a whole bunch of Super Bowl rings. He knows how to call an offense. Derek Carr is one of the, upper echelon quarterbacks in my book. You have Davante Adams, you got Hunter Renfrow, you got Darren Waller, you got Chandler Jones, all these other guys. They will figure it out. Everybody just relax, in my opinion, in Las Vegas.
So you're saying that to not hit the panic button?
No,
with all
I
these
know the stats when teams are 0-3, but I just sometimes the ball just doesn't bounce your way. It's just like right now. I'm in New York, and the sky is falling in New York around the Jets. You know what I'm saying? And it's just like, but when you really think about the Jets, and I want to get off topic, everyone's all hyped because of these draft picks with Sauce and Breece Hall and what's my man, Garrett Wilson and all these other stuff. But those guys are still rookies, and they're still under a new head coach for the second year. It takes time. No one's talking about the Jets and should Robert Saleh.
The sky was never up for the Jets. The sun and the moon never came up for the
Jets.
So why are we even talking about them? Let's talk about those teams then when they start.
Okay, all right. Well, we're moving on. Okay, so look, because we have to talk about the Washington Commanders with the on the program. What is going on with your Washington Commanders? I mean, I could just go on and on about these stats.
Hey, let me tell you something. Don't bring no stats. Hey, NFC East game, don't bring no stats. Don't nobody care about no stats. Okay, they came in there like Pootie Tang. They whooped us with a belt. That's fine. It happens all the time. You win some, you lose some. I'm sorry. The Eagles are hot. The Eagles could really be the best team in the NFC East. They can beat you 100 different ways. You stop them on second down. They come back on third down. Jalen Hurts run for a play. They got a 1A and a 1B wide receiver. A.J. Brown gon' blatantly beat you up. Why Smitty run past you, running a 4.2 at 153 pounds. All right, listen, they got a tight end in Dallas Goedert that can get it done. They got Miles Sanders running the ball. They got the biggest offensive line in football, and the defense with big play slave. Mississippi State Bulldog, Fletcher Cox. Mississippi State Bulldog. All I'm saying is this: if you want to get beat down, go to Philly. And let me tell you something. Philly fans took over our stadium this weekend. I was out there. I was walking through the parking lot. I seen a husband drinking a beer, the wife drinking a beer, and the baby drinking a beer. And that's when I knew we had lost.
See, I mean, come on. I want you to give us the real, because this guy's not talking about Wentz. The second pick in the 2016 draft, 25 of 43 for 211 yards with 2 fumbles, 1 loss.
This Carson Wentz?
Yes.
Who is it?
Carson Wentz.
I mean, this is what we get from Carson Wentz. I think, we probably have seen the best of Carson Wentz, when he was with the Philadelphia Eagles. That's just the honesty and the reality of it. Every stop that he's been, you've seen glimpses of what he could be, but there's no consistency. And I think we all can agree with that with his play. I mean, no matter how good of a guy, God, given, talent he has, it's not showing up on game day on Sundays the way it should be. When you look at the Philadelphia Eagles, I mean, I don't know if I can eloquently put it like Smoot said it, but I mean, Jalen Hurts, he has the weapons. You talk about a balanced running attack, a game plan. You have two basically WR1s on the outside. You have Miles Sanders, the running back, and then you have, like I said, I mean, you got Jalen Hurts, this guy right here. I mean, he's a triple threat, back there at the quarterback position. So when you think about the growth and the maturation process of where he was last year to where he is now, and I understand where he came from. He came from Alabama. He played at Alabama. So this is no surprise to me that he's at this level so early in the season. So I know playing in Philly, Philly is riding hot. Hey, let me tell you something.
They talking lots of trash.
Hey, let me tell you, the Eagles gonna be flying high every week from here on out.
Yeah, Fred. So I know. Listen, y'all just got some stuff to prove. It's gonna be rough ride, and plus,
listen, I believe in Carson Wentz. I believe when a player is not loved, Philly don't love nobody. The Colts don't love nobody, and now we loving on Carson. Hey, don't get mad.
Fred, but Carson, no. I gotta correct you there, because before the game, and I don't know, because I know you're doing pregame and doing all your duties for the Commanders, but the note came out, I believe it was from Adam Schefter, that the Commanders were
the 49ers
pursuing, yes.
No, and that's a lie. Coach Rivera cleared that up. Coach Rivera say it ain't nothing to that. They lying. They just want to make Jimmy J feel.
Rivera's trying to make sure that the locker room is straight.
No, Rivera kept it 100. Say they a damn lie. They only want to talk about this now because Garoppolo got to be their quarterback, so they trying to make sure they ex-girlfriend feel like she want it.
To be knowing that, listen.
Well, Adam Schefter lied too. He ain't at the church with me.
Let me tell you something.
Yes, go ahead.
What kind of trade is this going to be? Is this going to be like an even trade or swap or something? First of all,
they was talking about parameters. It didn't come together. Obviously, Jimmy Garoppolo also had the surgery, so that affected.
They trying to say that we wanted Jimmy first instead of Carson. So they trying to shun us and say who we wanted, and we telling them, no, we wanted Carson. Yeah, we called somebody else.
Russell Wilson.
Hey man, let me tell you something.
Some other options.
Y'all would have been better off with Jimmy Garoppolo. To be quite honest, I don't understand why you feel like Carson Wentz is the answer. Carson Wentz hasn't been the answer in either the last 2 or 3 stops that he's been. I get you was employed once by the Washington franchise organization, but let me tell you, you're being political with the stiff answers right about
he had his company shirt on last time he was on.
Right. Hey, T.O., let me tell you something, T.O. Yeah. The best wide receiver course we had since Gary Clark and Art Monk is in the house right now in Washington. Terry McLaurin, that Johan Dotson as a rookie, that boy is something special, and Curtis Samuels can make it happen. I'm telling you, and we blocked for Carson Wentz. We didn't give Carson Wentz a chance. She just told you he got sacked 9 times. That means he went to the bathroom at halftime and still got sacked. We ain't protected.
Well, I mean, bro, you can have all the best receivers you can, but if you ain't got nobody throwing the ball, that's all for nothing.
What up? Welcoming now into the crew crib is Colts cornerback Stephon Gilmore. What is going on, big dog?
What's up with you? How you doing?
Yeah, joining Fred Smoot and the Hall of Famer Terrell. Always appreciate you early in the morning, 9 o'clock before you got to rehab the hammy, taking care of the professional duties.
Always. Gotta
hey,
get right.
Hey, T.O., I know you used to this. You used to 2 cornerbacks and 1 wide receiver, right? You used to have this dynamic, right?
Oh yeah, I'm used to this look right here. So it's all good.
It's all good. Look, hey, I hope all of y'all brush your teeth this morning because we up hella early, but it's okay because Steph is feeling good because y'all got your first win on the season, 20-17 over the Chiefs. Steph, first of all, just give us your reaction that the first win comes over Patrick Mahomes and company.
It was a great win for us. I think we had a great game plan. And I think everybody counted us out after the first 2 weeks. So I think we came back and we play how we capable of playing. So I'm just looking forward to seeing how this team get better over the season.
Yeah, go ahead, Fred.
Well, Steph, I'm less political than Josina. I'm not hitting you with all them stiff questions she like to hit you with. I'm hitting you with a real SEC question because I know you're an SEC brethren. Check this out. I went to Mississippi State. We got our small claim as DBU. LSU got their claim as DBU. South Carolina got some cornerbacks that have been through the league in the last 20 years. How do you feel about the standing of South Carolina when it comes to DBU?
And let me tell you, that's one of the reasons why I went to South Carolina, because I'm like, I look at all the DBs that came from South Carolina. I'm like, man, I want to be one of those niggas guys. I visited all these SEC schools. Yeah, LSU has some guys, but I think South Carolina is very underrated as far as, DBs making it to the league. So, anytime you play in the SEC, you playing against a great competition. You know what I'm saying? So that's the one reason why I went to South Carolina, because, we the sleepers for DBU.
Yeah, I totally understand where you're coming from on that one. And tell me this, is South Carolina football back? New quarterback, new coach? The East is wide open besides Georgia. I ain't gonna lie, I don't see nobody measuring up to Georgia right now. But is South Carolina back?
I think we on the right track. I think Coach Beamer is a great coach. I think, he's going to turn that thing around. Like, so when we was there, we won 11 games 3 years in a row. So I think he's on the right track. So I'm just looking forward to seeing how he changed the program around.
All right.
Well, speaking of on the right track, let's get back on track to the NFL.
Yes.
I know.
Go ahead, T.
I know you guys just got your first win, and as you just mentioned too about we just talked about being underrated, things of that nature, understated. Your first two games of the season didn't go well. Going into this game against the Chiefs, obviously, like I said, you got a great win. Is this a win that can catapult your team to more wins?
I think it can. I think we've been working hard, the first 2 weeks, but teams kind of got us a little bit. But I think it's going against Kansas City, kind of going to spark us, as the season go on. But as each week is different.
Right.
You still have to go out there and compete and play. Just because you won the game last week, if you don't work hard during the week, if you don't come out ready to play the next week, it won't go your way. So I think it was a great win for us. But I think the formula that we have and the schemes that we put together is going to help us out in the future for sure.
So tell me what changed, Steph, because obviously you guys are trying to get acclimated to Gus Bradley, defensive coordinator, especially you coming from, the Panthers the season before. But I see you all were able to pressure him on 16 of 46 dropbacks. Y'all got just a lot of pressure on him in general, held him to just 57.1%, which I think was the 10th lowest of his career in terms of the completion percentage. So what is there any tweaks that y'all made in practice going up, and what was Gus Bradley's focus, in terms of just going into that matchup too?
I think Gus is doing a great job, adjusting to his players, and I think we're just getting adjusted to his scheme. Also, we got a lot of new guys coming in, and I think we're just going to get better and better each week. So, I think we're just growing as a team. It's not going to always be perfect, but that's what you want to do, is get better each and every weekend. And,
right, but this has to be has to be a confidence booster, because I know early on in my career, when you have like a subpar team, you're looking at the schedule. Let's be honest, you're looking at the schedule, you kind of ink off the ones like, okay, this is a win here, this is a win here. I don't know if we can win this game, being realistic, but like I said, going into this game, as a Colts fan, I'm sure your fan base like, okay, we're gonna win every game, but that's just not the reality of it. But going forward, you guys had a great game plan against obviously MVP and Patrick Mahomes. Like I said, is this a confidence booster? Like, you gotta, every week it has to be a great game plan. In order for that game plan to be pulled off, then everybody has to be detailed, dialed in order to get a win, just like you guys did against Kansas City.
Yeah, I think it was a confidence booster for us. It was a must win. It was an AFC team that, had a great offense, like as you said. So anytime you go against a great offense like that, and, you play good ball and you're able to come out with a win, is always a great feeling for your team. And I think, you know, you can work hard, you know, throughout weeks, but when you beat a great team, it's definitely a confidence booster for us. And I think, you know, I'm just looking forward to seeing our guys, how we react, you know, after we, you know, beat a good team and we come back and play this weekend, and how we're going to respond.
So what was the pressure that you all were feeling? Because, you know, you started off with the tie against Houston, then you had the loss against Jacksonville. I mean, what was the pressure around the facility at that time? Because, you know, some people were talking, what is Jim Irsay going to do? You know, how are they going to react? You know, pressure on Matt Ryan. So what level of pressure and concern were y'all feeling at that moment?
I don't think it was pressure. I just think it was just, you know, we needed a win, you know, no matter who it was. We just need to go out there and, you know, take care of business, because, you know, you don't want to start the season slow. You kind of want to start the season on the right track. And, you know, and what other team that you want to do it on in the Kansas City Chiefs, especially when, you know, people, you know, basically writing us off after the first 2 weeks. You know, it's still early in the season. It's a lot of football to be played. So, I just, like I said before, I'm just looking forward to us, you know, playing together as a team, and, you know, our offense coming along and our defense getting better too. So it's going to be fun.
Well, I tell you this, Steph, you got a future in politics, because you answer those questions just like a politician. I refuse to do what T.O. and Josina do and ask you them stiff questions. As you see, I'm the best question outside the group. I want to know this. Because I had a chance to play with some very freakish players in my time. I played with Champ Bailey. I practiced with him every day. I practiced with Sean Taylor every day. Daryl Green, I got to practice with. Give me a coach that you practice with, that you just look back and say, you know what, this dude is kind of freakish. Like it's something different about that dude. And if I had to guess, I say it might be Jonathan Taylor, because I think he could be the fastest man in the NFL. I don't know, maybe second to Tariq. Man, Jonathan Taylor can run, man. I'm sorry.
I don't think he's faster than Tyreek, but go ahead.
You mean on my team, or you mean just
yeah? I mean, either on this team or any team you played on.
NFL, yeah. Mm-hmm.
My rookie year, I played against Calvin Johnson. So,
oh, yes, sir. I know what you mean.
I was like, he's big, fast, you know, strong. He's all of that, you know, and I haven't played against nobody like him since, you know, my rookie year. So I'll take him over anybody.
Yeah, I remember what you're talking about. I remember walking on the field playing against him in Detroit and realizing that he was every bit of 6'6", 245 pounds, and he was literally running with the DBs, running past us. Yeah, I remember what you're talking about.
Hey, so listen, hey, you guys have the Titans next, Steph. And very interestingly, they starting off 1-2. I know you haven't even got into your installation yet, but it's not like you're unfamiliar with the Titans. I mean, just even overall, are you surprised at the way that they started, that included a loss to the Giants off the rip of the season?
I'm not surprised. You know, I've been playing, you know, for 11 years now. I know how the season goes. You can always, like T.O. said, you can mark the wins and losses, but at the end of the day, you know, you got to go out there and, you know, perform. You know, it's like I say, it's any given Sunday. If you don't come ready to play, you know, you're going to get handled. But I think the Titans got a good football team. You know, they got a great coach. You know, they're going to be a physical team running the ball, you know, the play action pass. So it's going to be a big test for us. And, you know, we got to go through these guys to take care of the division. So, you know, that's why you play the game.
What is going to be some of the keys to win that game? And are you going to be healthy? Are you going to be ready for the game?
Yeah, I'm going to be ready. I finished the game last game. You know, had a little thing during the game, was able to finish the game and come out on top. So we just got to play physical. You know, we know they're a physical football team, but, you know, this is going to be a game where the most physical football team is going to win the game. You
said you had a little thing. What's the little thing? So it's the hamstring, right?
It was a little hammy, but I'm good. I'm good.
You good? Hey, look, Matt, your quarterback obviously came from the Falcons, and we're getting ready to wrap you up here. But, you know, he's 37 years old. Some people are kind of wondering, you know, was this the right decision or what have you?
Old people can play football too. Old people matter.
He's 50-11. I get it. You know, he's 50-11 and still doing it and got the rings. So Fred is absolutely right. But if you could just give us just a little insight as to some of the things he was saying in the huddle, you know, when you guys were obviously, you know, mounting this victory, or just even in the times where there was a little bit of questions of which direction this team was going to go.
Yeah. I think Matty Ice, he he's like you say, he's been in the league for a long time, seen a lot of ball. One thing about him, I think he has that dog in him. People don't see that, he get fiery. And I like a quarterback like that. So I think he's gonna, shock some people this year.
Steph, mean, look, Matt is a lot of things. I don't know if we
he's a dog, like,
with a W, because even T.O.
I played against him last year. He was a dog when we played him in Carolina.
Yeah.
And this year I see it. Like, he get fiery. So you might not.
House dogs bite too. House dogs bite too. Don't worry about that.
Wait, T.O., what was going through your mind when he said that? Please describe.
I seen that face T.O. made.
Yeah, Steph card, T. What was that? What was that look? Go ahead.
I just don't see that from him. Again, like I said, maybe he has that quiet. Like you said, like Fred said, hound dogs bite too. I don't see him as a hound dog. I see him more as a poodle. But again, he sees something that we don't see. But at the end of the day, like I said, it's not what we're talking about, and it's not how you start, it's how you finish. And I think obviously going into this game, obviously against the Titans, you guys share the same record. It's all about, number one, you guys have to stop the run. You got to stop. Derrick Henry hasn't really gotten off to the start that he has liked to.
Grown man.
So please don't. What are you guys going to do to prevent him from getting on the right track?
We gotta like, our front gotta play great. Our linebackers gotta play great, and we gotta play great. We gotta all play as a team on defense, and we gotta all attack the ball, because, as you know, Derrick Henry, he's a great runner. He can get 5, 6, 7 yards a pop, and then break one. So we gotta all be ready, all play as a team. So we gotta hit him. That's what it's going to come down to. We gotta.
But right, and with that, obviously, like
on the ground.
Right, and if you guys can stifle the run, then obviously as a DB, obviously Tannehill, he'll throw that thing up now. He'll give you some gifts. So are you looking forward to this type of game? Because as a receiver, when we go into games, like, we see DBs, we see, the defensive, coverages, backfields, and things of that nature. We kind of know, okay, I can get off on this game, blah, 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 blah. So as a DB, knowing the tendencies of a quarterback that can really kind of throw that ball, any place or whatever, not as accurate, are you really looking forward to an opportunity like this? Like, okay, if the defensive front gets some pressure, those are balls that may come your way, pick sixes, PBUs, things of that nature.
Yeah, for sure. Anytime I go in a game, I think like that, though. Even when I went against Pat Mahomes last week, I'm like, okay, he go throw the ball a lot. I got a lot of opportunities to make plays.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So I think this week, I kind of worry as a corner. I try to worry about the receivers first, and then I kind of react to the run. I know I'm gonna have an opportunity to tackle them a couple of times, but my job is to really worry about the run and then react to the run. So, and if I do that and have an opportunity to make plays, and Tannehill try me a couple of times, I'm gonna try to make him pay.
Right.
Hey, Stephon, you better make some business decisions. You don't want to be tackling. You don't want to be tackling.
Hey, don't be trying to tell that man. If from the Colts facility, don't look the other way when Derrick Henry comes.
250 pounds a man is a business decision. Okay, listen, I have made a business decision before, and I'm still making good business decisions. You can't take everything on. And when somebody named King Henry, listen, I might tackle you in the first quarter. I'm gonna tackle you in the second quarter, but in that third and that fourth, I'm gonna turn my back and I'm just gonna chase T.O. and mind my damn business. All right, that's what I'm gonna do.
Look, Frank Wright finna come on this podcast and cut it off. We already tell him to look. Derrick Henry hasn't even rushed for over 100 yet.
That ain't got nothing to do.
I'm just saying. Go ahead.
All right.
Hey, did you hear Stephon earlier? Every game is different.
Yeah, thank you.
Hey,
you got to be ready.
But Steph, you were getting ready to say when we were talking real quick about Matt Ryan right there, and T.O. was making the face about the DAWG.
He was being a dog. Yeah.
So you were about to say something. You said
I was about to say what quarterbacks you think is a dog. That's what I was going to say.
Oh yeah. Go ahead. Who are the dogs?
Pat Mahomes, Josh Herbert, Jalen Hurts.
Jackson.
Jalen Hurts, Lamar Jackson.
Yeah.
Like it's some serious dogs in this league right now. I ain't gonna say Cooper Rush. Ain't no dog in Cooper Rush.
What is your definition of a dog?
I consider Joe Burrow's a dog.
Oh yeah, Joe Burrow dog.
Yeah, come on now. He's that dog. Like
a dog is just somebody that just keep coming, no matter what.
Right.
Like somebody that'll throw 2 picks at you and then keep coming at you in the 3rd and the 4th. Somebody just won't stop. A relentless dog. One thing I know about a dog.
That's Matty Ice.
Yeah, he just doesn't show us that. Obviously, you got the inside scoop. That's something that we don't see from Matty Ice.
Will
we don't
he
see.
Curse y'all out? Where he curse y'all? Or does he keep it proper and just move?
Is he a preacher? Is he a preacher? She asked.
He a leader. He lead by example, and he tell you straight. So that's one thing I respect about him.
Oh, of course. Okay. Well, listen. Yeah, go ahead, Fred. What were you about to say?
No. What he's saying is he a businessman. He business from the time he come in the building to the time he leave. So I can see where he say, I see that dog in him, because you can have talent. That don't make you a leader. I know if anybody in Washington, I done had like 30 of the worst quarterbacks in the league ever had. So yeah, I understand what he's saying. Like some guys lead a whole different total way. I can respect that.
Well, listen, Steph, we appreciate you hopping on. We definitely learning that Matt Ryan is not just a DOG, but is a DAWG.
WG.
We appreciate learning that on the Crew NYC. Stephon Gilmore, cornerback for the Colts. They got the Titans up next. We appreciate you in the Crew crib. Hey, tell us your name and then say you're watching the Crew Show NYC.
This is Stephon Gilmore of the Indianapolis Coach. You're watching the Crew Show NYC.
All right, we appreciate having you.
Up.
Thanks for jumping on, Steph. Go ahead and take care of that hammy. Make sure you're ready. And
Hey, T.O., I would have loved to play against you back in the day, man.
Oh, I would have loved to see that matchup.
Wait a minute. So
I didn't want to see that matchup. I played cornerback, and I didn't watch you. I didn't play against you. I think I know how that matchup would have went. It depends on T.O. who your quarterback is at the time. You tell me who your quarterback is, and I'll tell you how they go.
On the sign off, Steph. Is he trying to say
it would have been fun,
It would have been fun.
Oh yeah, absolutely, absolutely.
Okay, so you would have had him know. You would have had him know, because I see you trying to run a 4.5011 in your 40 on TikTok or whatever, Twitter the other day.
Yeah, it's all good. Like it would have been 2 dogs going at it.
Oh, okay.
True dogs going at it.
Yeah. Real dogs, an excellent dog fight.
All right, Steph, we appreciate having you. Get out of here. We'll talk to you soon, okay?
Appreciate it,
man. All the best, bro.
All right, thank you.
All right, brother.
All right, y'all wanted to go ahead and jump in. Go ahead, T.O. Go ahead.
No, I'm not gonna say who's the better. I know who's the healthiest.
Okay.
And that's Jalen Hurts. Obviously, like I said, you look at the film, you look at the video of the hit on Tua and him getting up, looking like, having Bambi legs. That doesn't bode well. Obviously, going into the investigation of concussion protocol. I think anybody, and I know where you're going with, where we will be going with this question is, do players really, are they honest when they get hurt or they get hit? Or obviously in this situation, we're discussing concussions. So at the end of the day, I don't really feel like it's them being dishonest. That's just the mentality of a football player, of you being
just tough.
You just being tough. Yeah. Do we get our bells rung? Yeah. But that doesn't mean like you can't go in and play. But obviously, like I said, with the concussion protocols and where they are now, then yeah, people are going to look really into it, because obviously health is a priority right now in the National Football League. And
let me just clean this up really quickly. So obviously the Dolphins played the Bills, and before the half, Milano was kind of rushing back on Tua. He fell back and he hit his head. He wobbled when he tried to stand up. And then after the game, they said that he said his head was not hurt. He's claiming that his back was the thing that was hurt, and that he actually hurt the back on the previous play. But after the game, the NFLPA said they were launching an investigation to see if the protocol was followed properly. And also the Dolphins have a game Thursday against the Bengals, so they have that concern. But what I'm saying is that how could that not, and I'm not a doctor, but how could that not be a head injury with the way he slammed his head on the back? And even if your back is hurting, the question is it back and head?
These babies are already soft is enough. All right? If you do all the crying, what the baby gonna do? It's already a recession around here. Babies ain't got many jobs options. So all I'm telling you is this. Tua got back up because guess what they've been saying about Tua since he got to the league, since he's been in college? He injury prone. All right, so the one thing he want to do is not miss games. So don't fault him for toughening up and say, you know what, I'm gonna play these games.
I'm not faulting him. This is about head. First of all, let me look. I'm not a football player, but I have had a concussion. I have been sitting on a plane. Somebody.
Oh, I know it because you're crazy. I know you had concussions. I can tell you.
The luggage hit me on my head, and I know that somebody can ask you what's 1 + 1, and you can say 2. What does red and green make? It makes brown, and that don't mean you don't have a concussion, because concussion symptoms can come later. You can have light sensitivity, headaches, and all those other things. And oh, by the way, the movie what you call it was made after the concussion movie with Will Smith. That doctor came out and said something too, who discovered CTE. These are things that it's about making sure that you're okay, not just in the moment, but also
talking about Dr. Awuluwe? No.
His name is not Awuluwe. Oh my God, Theo, please step in.
Hey, he the one got these kids wearing head condoms.
Hey man, look. He made like you said. They say he said it was his back. We're obviously assuming or speculating.
And we're not doctors. We're just talking. Mm-hmm.
Right. I mean, at the end of the day, like I said, if he bumped his head, he may not have known what was hurting his head or his back. So
that's why they have an independent neurologist at the game who's supposed to save the player and the team from itself. Now they said they asked Tua, and he said, no, for sure, it's not this, not that, but he may not know. That's the whole purpose of why the union is stepping in.
Right. Again, like I said, they're going to do their due diligence. They're going to do the investigation, and if it deems that he had a concussion, then I'm sure he's going to go into the concussion protocol. He has all week, obviously, to do all the necessary testing, this, and that, and the other, to be eligible to play this weekend. But I commend him, obviously, like I said, for just being tough. Just staying in there.
He ain't balling. Yeah.
No, and of course, and he realizes too that the success of the team kind of relies on him. This is the best Tua, I guess, situation he's been in. And what is this, his third or fourth year being with the Miami Dolphins? This is the best situation he's been in, that to where he's had the protection a bit. He has the weapons on the outside, and he has a decent running game. And they're off to a great start of being 3-0. So kudos to Tua. That, like I said, they're one of the teams to be to be on the lookout for in that AFC.
And it's
so funny how both of these quarterbacks are from Alabama, and both of these guys' wide receiving cores are built up basically the same. Both of them have a former Alabama #1 wide receiver, and they got another #1 wide receiver with Tyreek Hill with the Dolphins, and now A.J. Brown with Philadelphia. Both of them have with Gesicki at tight end. They have everything set up for it. So we're seeing these guys succeed because they're set up for success. All right. So at the end of the day, they both play a little bit different. Jalen Hurts more of a runner, Tua more of a touch passer, but both of them are getting the job done, and that's what you want to see, because usually when quarterbacks come from Power 5 teams, they don't usually do well in the NFL. So just to see these guys do well in the NFL is everything.
So a couple of things. Tua is in his third year, and I just wanted to say really quickly, this is interesting because Hurts is 66 for 98, 4 touchdowns, 1 interception. Tua is 72 for 101, 8 touchdowns, 2 interceptions. And his completion percentage right now, guys, is 71.3%.
Right. Right. And I think if you look at the tail of the tape, obviously this is the same similarities that they were when, they were both at Alabama. I think Tua, from a statistical standpoint, is going to really stand out a bit more than Jalen. But they both have familiarities at the receiver position. You mentioned Devontae Smith, you mentioned Jalen Waddle, and then they have obviously, some great compliments. With Jalen Waddle, you have Tyreek Hill. With Devontae Smith, you have A.J. Brown. There's some familiarity with those quarterbacks and some of those guys that they played with in college. So that gives them the comfort to really go out there and really play at a high level. And then you add Tyreek with the Miami Dolphins. I mean, this guy right here, he's blowing the doors. He's playing at an elite level, and I think he's playing with a chip on his shoulder. Obviously, the way that he departed from Kansas City, not that he has to, but this is really the development, the maturation, and the growth of his receiving skills that we've seen, from Kansas City to now with the Miami Dolphins, and you're starting to see what is scary to come for this season.
And I just want to make clear on this podcast, we're not trying to insinuate that the Dolphins did anything dubious. What we're saying, at least what I'm saying is that everyone can get kind of caught up in the game, even though the quarterback can make a profession on himself in terms of his state. But that's the whole purpose of why they have these balance and checks at the games, is to help make these independent assessments. And obviously the union doing its job to make sure that those independent checks are in place correctly. Guys, let's move on to final takes. All right. Well, guess what, guys? It's already week 4. We are moving along in this NFL season. I don't know if you guys have had a chance to look at the schedule, but I can throw out some matchups there just to see what y'all think. First of all, Thursday Night Football is Miami at Cincy. Another good game, Kansas City at the Bucs. Although Hurricane Ian is coming right now, the league is trying to even figure out if that game is going to happen on Sunday or in Tampa. You got New England, Green Bay, although Mac Jones is hurt. Any of y'all have anything that y'all want to say about the matchup that y'all looking forward to? I can name some other ones. Minnesota at the Saints,
Yeah, I think everybody's looking forward to the Green Bay Tampa Bay game. Obviously, like I said, if it's not played there in Tampa, it's going to be moved to a
No. The Chiefs are playing the Bucs this Sunday.
Yeah, right. Yeah, I'm sorry. Yeah, that's what I meant. The Chiefs and the Bucs. I think that's a box office game, if you will. That's a get your popcorn ready type of game.
Plug the podcast. That's right. Go ahead.
Right, you got to get your popcorn ready for this type of game. Obviously, Patrick Mahomes, he wants to obviously kind of answer the bell off this disappointing loss against the Indianapolis Colts, and obviously, like I said, these two have gone head to head. Tom Brady, Tom is the greatest quarterback, in this era. Obviously, like I said, Patrick Mahomes, he's staking his claim of who he is and what he can do. So these are, this is going to be the tale of the tape.
Don't forget Bills at Ravens, though. Bills at Ravens at 1:00 too, Fred.
Hey, I can take Bills at Ravens, but I'm a company man, so I'm gonna go with Commanders and Cowboys. Hey, listen to me, Commanders and Cowboys, because this is the narrative. The Commanders Cooper Rush back to the bench. All right, that's what it's gonna be.
That is not the game of the week, Fred. That is
the game of the week is the Cowboys, because you gotta realize this. Hey, say what you want to. The Cowboys are the number one ranked when it comes into the franchise. They're the number one. Right. So the NFC still has an edge on everybody. I'm telling you right now, this is the first ever Commanders Cowboys game. The first ever.
I'd rather watch the Teletubbies.
Nobody. Listen. Well, you know what? I have to also say that Dolphins. Because you were saying that Joe Burrow, T.O., is a dog. That Thursday night game is something, though.
Yeah. You talking about who is it? Cincinnati and
Bengals and the Dolphins in Cincy.
I call it the land of the girly beards, because even the woman got beards in Philadelphia. The baby got beards. Lord. Everybody got beards hanging from their face. I'm
just remember, y'all, that is from a former commander saying all that trash talking. We love y'all, even though y'all was wrong about Carson Wentz at the time. Not saying he can't come back, and y'all was all up in my DMs.
All I can say is this, and they also got a statue of a man that don't exist. Rocky don't exist. He never did. He never will. All right, and that's real.
Whatever. And on that note, we appreciate y'all joining the Crew NYC. Make sure y'all check us out on www.thecrewnyc.com. We also got special guests coming up on our Brooklyn tape-in. Look out for that later on in the week on Thursday. And we are out.